But there's some other breaking news across the NFL landscape before we get into our NFL power rankings. But one of the biggest news stories of the day that recently just came out in the last, 30 minutes, right? I was sitting here, I was getting the graphics ready for the power rankings. I was, double checking my list, checking it twice, going to find out who's naughty or nice. And Cleveland Browns quarterback DeShaun Watson will undergo season-ending shoulder surgery. He has some type of broken bone in his shoulder, and he has opted to have surgery, and that will end his season. Guys, this is huge news coming out of the NFL in the last 30 minutes. This is the biggest news that could shake up my power rankings. Like, spoiler alert, my power rankings were made last night, so this was before the DeShaun Watson news came out. So when you see the Cleveland Browns as a top 4 team, slow it down, baby. Understand, I thought DeShaun Watson was still in there, right? But how big of news is this for the Cleveland Browns? DeShaun Watson seemed to be getting better each and every week. The Cleveland Browns defense has performing lights out each and every week. Not only do you lose Nick Chubb a few weeks ago to a season-ending injury, now you're losing your starting quarterback to a season-ending injury. Do the Browns have any legs to stand on moving forward? Obviously, right now, they thought DTR was possibly a good stopgap guy for DeShaun Watson. When he came in, was it week 3, week 4? He was not the guy. He looked terrible. PJ Walker was in there. He won a couple games. I believe they beat the 49ers with PJ Walker, right? PJ Walker could possibly lead them to the playoffs. I don't know. But with PJ Walker as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, they are not going to win the AFC North. They are not going to make noise in the playoffs like we thought we would, that we were just talking about yesterday. We were literally just talking yesterday about how good the Cleveland Browns were. We were literally talking about how great, how explosive the Cleveland Browns were, and then not even 24 hours later, actually right about 24 hours later, we get the news that smacks us in the face and said, oh, DeShaun Watson's out for the season. What? Good Lord. Jim out there in the chat, always with the greatest comments of the day. Toxic. If you guys want toxic, Jim Powell has all the toxic comments. He says, can't he just rub it out? Just rub it out. Rub it out. John says, nope. The Cleveland Browns are not winning the North now. They're not going to make a deep playoff run. Hell, they may not even win another game. They exploded. John, when you say they exploded, what do you mean by that? They exploded as in like a good explosion, like, whoa, we exploding off the map, baby. We are going to the north. We're going to the moon. Or explode like, oh shit, what's going on? Hoffy comes in and says the Bengals will win the North now. Ooh, let's sit down and talk about the North a little bit. Let's talk about the North. Right now, the Bengals are sitting at 5-5, Hoffy. They are 5-5, and they are in last place in the division. How realistic is the Bengals to come back from a 3-game deficit behind the Baltimore Ravens? Because I do believe they lost the head-to-head game earlier this season, right? Yes, so they lost the head-to-head game earlier this season. Actually, no, they haven't. So the Bengals did lose to the Ravens head-to-head week 2, right? So they are 2.5 games behind the Ravens right now in the standings. Yes, the Ravens do have a tough schedule. Cincinnati Bengals have a favorable schedule. I will give you that. But look out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We didn't talk a lot about the Pittsburgh Steelers last night, but they are a team that you don't know what's going to happen. I saw the perfect meme out there, right? It was a picture of Tiger Woods and John Daly, right? Smoking the cigar and drinking the whiskey. John Daly was the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-3, and the other team was the other team was Tiger Woods at 6-3. nice and clean cut, and the other one's just like sloppy. I'm like, yeah, whatever. We here. John says, no, they are exploding internally, so they are imploding. How are the Browns imploding? I mean, if you want to call imploding injuries, sure, but I don't see any inner fighting with the Browns. We don't see anybody getting arrested. Sorry, Michael Thomas. Zay Flowers, right? We don't see anybody really getting in a lot of trouble. So when you say they're imploding or exploding internally, as your words are, I don't see it. I don't see it. John says, as far as the Cincinnati Bengals win the North is all about Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. No, it is not. It is all about how bad the Ravens are the next couple weeks. It is all about how bad the Ravens suck in December. It's all about how bad the Ravens suck in January. That is what it comes down to. That is what it ultimately comes down to. Jim says this really only matters if you're a Browns fan. The Steelers are coming in hot, on wings on fire, only half landing gear. But hey, as long as you land the plane, I don't care if the other half is there or not, right?